Ta-da! Hello Power Rangers fans and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the new Retro Megazords from Walmart. So this is the first wave of Retro Megazords here, and what the heck? So if you saw in the opening clip there, Walmart decided it would be really funny to ship all of these in their own box, which does not make any sense to me. So basically this is a funny story. So these were first announced back in October. I did a whole video on them and everything. I think these are really cool. I definitely warmed up to the idea of these, and I'm very excited that we are going to be getting 4 more of them. But what's weird is that they were up on Hasbro Pulse. They, I think, still are part of one of the, those times where they do shared store exclusives with other stores. Well, this was one of those times. And for whatever reason, Hasbro Pulse was like, they're supposed to come out February 1st, and they're like, no, we don't have them. We got to delay them to March 1st. And Walmart's like, well, we got them, so we're good. So I canceled my Pulse order. I switched it over to Walmart, and they shipped yesterday, and here they are. So very, very quick turnaround. The fun part, though, is that I got the whole wave. You can only see about 3 of the 4 boxes here. There's one above my hand. What's cool is that since they sent all of them in their own individual boxes, I have no idea which one of these is which. So we're going to find out together. So... Alright, box number 1, of course you can see Perry written on it because they always write my last name on these packages in the mailroom. But yeah, I mean, when these were first announced, I was like, these are kind of weird, but for $15, $16-ish, I'm like, you know what, they're kind of cool. So my very favorite one is the one that's going to be right here up first, so that's Ninjakon. So let's go ahead and open him up. Pretty much just a repaint of the Ninjor that was, released earlier in this line, this whole retro line. But yeah, Power Rangers Ninja Storm and Ninjakon. Pretty good, pretty nice boxes and everything. This whole VHS look they got going for these for some reason. So we'll go ahead and slot Ninjakon over there. See, any guesses on who box number 2 is going to be? I mean, it really can only be one of 3 possibilities, so, but who's it going to be? Alright, this one is the Thunder Megazord, which I realize I'm not showing very well. I'm just trying to keep the address hidden and everything. There's a big label on the other sides of this. Boom! We got the Thunder Megazord. I can probably angle this down a little bit more now that we have some of the boxes out of the frame. Thunder Megazord. So we'll stack that up there. We're going to take a look at all of them, obviously. Alright, this one is either going to be the Dino Megazord or the Galaxy Megazord. This one is going to be the Galaxy Megazord. Oop, I just bumped the camera. Alright, Galaxy Megazord. And finally, the most abundant Megazord of all. The one that always gets released somewhere. The original, iconic Gaijujin himself, the Dino Megazord. Alright, so we got them all here. So let's kind of just readjust the camera angle a little bit, take a look at these boxes, and we will pop these open and see what we got. Alright, so here are the Retro Megazords, and I like these already. So I just think these look cool. It's a line that, I never would have thought was going to be a thing. When they first popped up in the Walmart system, they looked like they were almost going to be Lightning Collection related stuff. They're not. Some places are reporting these to be Lightning Collection. They are not at all. I don't know why people think that they are. It's an extension. It's a kind of evolution of the retro figure line that Walmart had in 2020 and 2021. Now we're getting these. So there are going to be 4 more of them coming at the time of this recording. We don't know what those are going to be. But this is the first whole lineup here. So these retail for $15.40 something, basically $16. Which maybe is a little pricey. It's especially for when you factor in Ninjakon here, which is more or less an exact repaint of the Retromorph Ninjor, which cost $12-ish, $12, $13. So, I think it's kind of worth it. I get what's happening here. Basically, these are little Megazord figures. They are not able to transform. You cannot separate them to individual Zords or anything like that. Huh. Do I have to destroy this? I guess I don't have to. I can cut the tape up there. Yeah, that's interesting. There's a pull, a rip away tab to open these things. Huh. I would not have expected that. So, We'll start with each of them here individually, take a look at their boxes. So there's like this VHS kind of thing that they're going for here, which I don't really know why. I think it only kind of works with like the 90s ones. I mean, Lost Galaxy is even kind of pushing it. Ninja Storm is, I think, definitely pushing it with like a VHS vibe. So you can hear it rattling around in there because there's no plastic tray or anything like that. These are part of Hasbro's plastic repackaging initiative. So they're just wrapped in tissue paper inside of there. I've seen pictures of that. But the artwork is gorgeous. There's the Dino Megazord there. I really like that a lot. I also love what they got going on here, where they have the series as like main antagonist. So there's Rita right there, or the season, I suppose. And Goldar is there because that was the first monster that the Dino Megazord ever fought. And you can see that trend continuing on the rest of these, which we'll dive into, which is really cool. And I would love to see that continue for the rest of these in this line. Because I hope these do well. I hope that these are received well. We know we're getting a second wave, like I said a couple times already. So I hope that we can get more. On the side, it's not super crazy. Just as Dino Megazord, you get a little bit of that exposed VHS tape back there. Here is a picture of the product on the back. You can kind of see how, basic it is. It doesn't have like the most paint applications in the world. It definitely does not have the most articulation in the world. But, it's neat. It has its own assortment number. That's how you know we're going to get more of these if there's an entire assortment of them. And it has a little description. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers combine their Dinozords to form the Dino Megazord. You bet they do. Alright, so there's that one. We'll open them all in a minute. I do want to just take a look at their boxes. Here is the Thunder Megazord from Season 2. One of my favorite designs. Really, really like this box a lot. You have Lord Zed replacing where Rita was on the Dino Megazord, and you have Piranha's head, who is soon to get a Lightning Collection figure, posed over there because he was the first monster fought by the Thunder Megazord. Really, really like that. That's just really cool. Thunder Megazord, get a little bit of exposed VHS tape and stuff on there. On the back, you got him there. You've got his sword. He does have a holster for it too, which is nice. Probably, these are all kind of lacking details, especially in the leg areas. And right here, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers combine their Thunderzords to form the Thunder Megazord. So those are essentially word for word the same descriptions. They just changed Dino to Thunder, which, is accurate, but okay. Very thick boxes you can kind of see here. Then we finally move away from Mighty Morphin with Lost Galaxy, a season that is very popular, but probably doesn't get, a ton of recognition all the time. But we have the Galaxy Megazord, a pretty cool design. Definitely a fan of that one. We have Trakina there as kind of this representing the series antagonist. You have the Galaxy Megazord, which looks really cool. And then you have that monster there, which is the first one fought by the Galaxy Megazord, but it's not as an iconic of a monster as the Mighty Morphin ones are. So I couldn't tell you what his name is, but it will be up on the screen right now. Once I look up what it is, that is his name, and that is his outline. So there is the Galaxy Megazord little name on the side. I also like the kind of different environments we have, this thunder, lightning bolts on a mountain. It's kind of fire, lava mountain. You get this weird space mountain thing. Pretty neat. I do like that a lot. Here is the Galaxy Megazord back there, which this one looks pretty good. I think its legs are already kind of simple as it is, so there wasn't a ton of detail missing there. You can already see here that these descriptions are the same exact thing. They just copy and paste the words that they need and change out where they need. It's like ad-libs. Mad-libs. I don't know why I said ad-libs. The Lost Galaxy Power Rangers combine their galactic beasts to form the Galaxy Megazord. You bet they do. I can't wait till we get an Astro Megazord where they say the In-Space Rangers combine their Astrozords to make the Astro Megazord. I would hope that they would actually change it for that. Also, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get an Astro Megazord in Wave 2. There's no way we're not. Here we go. The best one of this entire wave, and one of my favorite, and I mean this unironically, one of my favorite Hasbro products that they have put out in their entirety of the time owning this license. This is freaking awesome. It makes sense. It's a good way to do this. You got me, Hasbro, with this one. Never would have thought in a million years that we would have gotten this, especially so soon. So this is Ninjakon, which does not exist. It's not a thing in the show. It's from Ninja Storm, but it's not in Ninja Storm. So what this is a reference to a Bandai toy, if you're not familiar with that. So back during Ninja Storm, they repurposed the Ninja mold from the Mighty Morphin days. They painted it red. They changed the chest symbol on his regular mode. This is his Megazord mode. And they remolded the head on his Ranger mode a little bit and called him Ninjakon, including some of the power spheres and everything, and a little launcher for them. They re-released Ninjakon again, although they really didn't change much of him. They just maybe changed a tiny bit of the paint applications and removed the power sphere during Jungle Fury in the Super Legends line. This is a reference to that. It does not appear in the comics, I guess, yet. I suppose they definitely could canonize Ninjakon if they really wanted to. But he's not ever been on screen, he's not ever been in the comics or video games or anything like that. He's strictly a toy exclusive thing that Hasbro is making a reference to here today. Which makes perfect sense, because this is just the Retromorph Ninja mold that they released at Walmart a little while ago, which I do have right here. For the purposes of comparison, it's just this figure right here, which I already really liked this figure a lot. So if you liked this one, you know what you're getting with this one. I just never thought they would actually give us a Ninjakon figure, either in the retro line or ever. So I love this. And so because of that, since he never appeared on screen or anything like that, there is no like monsters around him or anything like that. There's kind of like vague silhouette. Oh no, that's still not true at all. I lied completely. That is Lothar and that is Zergain. I don't know why I didn't notice that. Yeah, Lothar and Zergain are back there. Ah, man, the artwork on these are really cool. These are cool. These are neat. I know a lot of people were kind of trash talking them when they were first announced, but they're harmless. They're fun. So we got Ninjakon there, get some buildings and such. So, a little bit of a different scenery. Like I said, I just love the scenery and everything here. So this one actually has an action feature. The other ones don't, and that's just because it is the Retromorph Ninja mold. But I really like this in red. I really like it a lot. So as you can see, the head and the chest are remolded slightly, which is accurate to the original 2003 toy. And then right here it says, a truly mysterious Zord from the Wind Academy. And yeah, I could not say it better myself. It is truly a mysterious Zord. For the fact that it does not exist anywhere. So let's open these up and take a look at them all. Alright, so here are the 4 of them out of their boxes, and as you can see, the VHS thing continues onto the inside of the box. So what's really cool about this is that the inside has this little fun little gimmick of all of them looking like old VHS tapes. But they can kind of double as like backdrops for them, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So right here we have the Dino Megazord, which obviously just says Dino Megazord with like this little crude drawing of it, which is really cute. Nothing on this side, it's just like 2 tapes put together, which continues right here because it does say Dino Megazord Volume 1 and Dino Megazord Volume 2 with the Mighty Morphin logo up there. So it definitely looks like an old VHS. I'm not sure if it's the exact size. I think it might be a little bigger than a regular VHS, although it might be. I don't have a VHS right here to compare it to. I have plenty at home, but I don't have a VCR up here because I am in 2022. But here it is. So that's what I'm talking about. The nice little backdrops on these VHS tapes. I think this is kind of cool, I think it's a nice little display, way to display them. And if you wanted to do that, you can kind of get it standing in a little bit of a better pose. And taking these out of the box here, taking a little closer look at them, people are not going to like these. I can just say that already off the bat because of how they feel. They feel incredibly cheap. That is for sure. But they're not bad. I do like them. If you wanted to paint them up a little bit more, I think you have some really nice little figures on your hands. They're not the greatest thing in the world. They never were going to be. But I like them. I do dig them. They're a little, whatever. But, not bad. So taking a look at here, not bad in terms of detail of the head and everything. A lot of them share the very similar molds. It doesn't come apart or anything. I'm just kind of looking at it. But very similar kind of idea, very strange paint application decisions. As you can see, half of the treads on the Triceratops were painted, the other halves were not, which is just kind of odd. The head I don't think is too bad. Maybe the lines on the black are a little bit... See, that's one thing. I think a lot of the paint on these is a little sloppy. I mean, that could just be mine, obviously, but as I just bumped the sword against the camera, I'm sure that's going to create an audio little hiccup. But yeah, I mean... The legs is obviously where the detail is skimped out on. I mean, look at that saber tooth there. You can't move these or anything. They're just stationary, but there's no face painted there. Same thing on the Triceratops. The little red squares are not painted there. But in terms of articulation, you have a little bit, nothing too crazy. The head can rotate all the way around. The arms can also rotate all the way around. They can bend out that way, which I did not think they would be able to do that. The shoulder pads are movable to kind of get out of the way. Which, interesting. The hands rotate, which is pretty cool. Nothing there. On the legs, they kind of have rotated. The joint is very strange. You'll be able to see this better on the Galaxy Megazord, but the joints down there are a very weird joint. I feel like these are never standing straight. I always feel like they're kind of standing one leg's a little more leaning forward, I suppose. The sword, you can just, of course, take it out of his hand, but you can slot it in there. Very bendy, finicky sword. I mean, it's definitely like one of the cheapest power swords I've ever seen, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be super complex. It's just the handle's very rubbery to be careful about. I would honestly be careful about like ripping it or something. But let's see. I mean, that's kind of the most dynamic of a pose you're going to get this guy into. You know, nothing too crazy. I did want to compare it very briefly to this one. This is the one from 2020. The actual Hasbro. This was like a basic one as well. This one was like $45 if you got all the components. As you can see here, towers over this like cheaper one, which cannot combine. This one can combine. The Zord Ascension Project one we have coming out for Lightning Collection is going to tower both of these guys. So definitely have a little bit of an option in terms of Megazords, Dino Megazords from Hasbro. Speaking of the retro line, here he is. We'll just kind of pan the camera down a tad. Here he is with the Retro Morph Red Ranger from the same kind of figure line. Also exclusive to Walmart, so you can kind of get that going on here. These are supposed to be like 7-inch figures or so, something along the lines of that, and I think that that pretty much is accurate here. So there that is with that. Here he is next to a standard Power Rangers Lightning Collection figure, or I guess not really a standard one. This is the Metallic Armor Red Ranger one. As you can see, the Megazords stand a little bit taller, but that should mean that they should scale somewhat decently, not recently, with the monsters. Like, give Eye Guy a shot here. Eye Guy's still a little too big for this guy, but not like super terrible, I suppose. I mean, this kind of looks somewhat decent, having a Megazord fight a monster like that. It's kind of what I always thought the Megazords, or the Zords monsters, you know, whatever the sentence I'm trying to say is, I thought, you know, what the monsters really needed was like Megazord figures like this. I do want to grab Goldar, though. Here he is next to Goldar. That's not too bad. I think that works reasonably well. What do you guys think? You know, the first opponent of the Dino Megazord, Lightning Collection Goldar versus Retro Dino Megazord. So, you know, just proving that the monster line was still, once again, way too big, way bigger than it ever should have been. And there goes Goldar. He fell off the shelf. Not a problem. But yeah, I mean, that's basically going to do it for the Retro Dino Megazord. Let's kind of take a look at his wave mates. We'll kind of just slot him back in the box. Turn around. Goodbye, Dino Megazord. And let's bring out the Thunder Megazord. So as you can see here, another little crude drawing. I love these. These are a little cute. I do like that a lot. Let's bring this camera back up a tad so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Thunder Megazord. On the side, you get Thunder Megazord Volume 1 and Volume 2. You get the Mighty Morphin logo up there as well. Nothing on this side. This one has a purple kind of a secondary color to it. And ta-da! There he is with a nice little lightning background. Really like that a lot. Thunder Megazord, one of my all-time favorite designs. Love this thing. And not too bad. So I think this one maybe works a little bit better than the Dino Megazord. I think it just has maybe some more detail to it. That could just be because there's more black on this Megazord's design. There's a lot of black plastic here, so missing details are kind of not as noticeable. I mean, they still certainly are. Like there's no lines painted down the shoulder pads up there. Obviously the Griffin and the other one, the Griffin and the Unicorn, are definitely under-detailed in terms of paint. But I think that lion face on the crotch is pretty good. The chest looks nice. The helmet looks great. I think they really nailed it with that. He just looks very stiff. You can kind of move his arms out a tiny bit, but not too much. He has the same level of articulation. His shoulder pads, though, do not get out of the way as much. You can really only move the arms like that. Yeah, the hands... Ooh, wow. The hands do move, but that was kind of a bit of a crack to get it there. They are slightly painted on the other side, so that's cool. So you can move the hands like that, nothing on the waist or anything. The head still does rotate all the way around. Just a little tight, because I haven't really cracked the joints in. And the legs still, like, kind of move. Like, you can kind of see it here. It's like this weird hinge in there where, like, they kind of just move to the sides and sort of up. And it's very strange. There's no knee articulation on these, which is what I really think that they're missing, is that knee articulation to kind of really give them some mobility here. But his accessory, I think, is a lot cooler than the Power Sword. It's the Thunder Sword. Is that what this is called? I don't know if... I think this has an official name. But it comes like this in the box. You can take it out of the sheath, which looks very nice. It's obviously not painted with all the gold, like, chrome detailing or anything like that, but it is sculpted very nicely. And the sword is just like a dull gray plastic, but that's fine. You can put that in his hand if you want to. Kind of just have to push the hand out a little bit. So you can give him his sword. You can put the sheath. There's a little peg right there next on the Firebird. So you can slot that in there like that. So yeah, pretty good. I think, like I said, I think better. These are kind of on the ball joint. You see it's kind of rotating a little bit, but probably better than the Dino Megazord, but still like not the greatest thing in the world. But for like a display piece, I do dig how this looks with the other stuff. I'm gonna have to move the holster. I'm just gonna have to take it off to put him back in his little VHS compartment, which is not, which is not really working. As we move on to the Galaxy Megazord, the first one not part of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So there's the Galaxy Megazord with a little draw in there. I love the little Saturn for the O and Zord. That's fun. Right here, very similar setup. You have the Lost Galaxy logo up there. Galaxy Megazord Volume 1, Volume 2. Boom, there it is. Love that background a lot. With this whole galaxy pattern. Like, that looks awesome. You get the planet. Like, I love it. This would also be good, like, if you wanted to take a picture. It would be a very tight picture. But if you wanted to, like, put a Lightning Collection figure in there and let's, like, take up the frame with that. Like, look at that. That would be kind of neat for, like, you know, maybe, like, Leo or Andros or something. Maybe within Space Blue and the Galaxy Glider, if you could kind of photography that in some way. But yeah, this one looks great. This one is probably my favorite of the Megazord ones in here, which, I mean, Ninjakon technically is a Megazord, but, you know, kind of a weird thing there. But yeah, this one, I think, definitely turned out the best in terms of just detail, in terms of just, you know, sculpt maybe even. Like, it just looks great. The detailing on the arms is pretty good with the Wildcat and the other one, the Griffin. Is that what this is supposed to be? That doesn't really make sense. It's another cat of some kind. Wolf? It's a wolf, isn't it? But yeah, not too bad. You got the gorilla face down there. Look at that helmet though. Like, that looks great. The head looks fantastic. You can rotate that one all the way around. I like the gold kind of reflective pattern there on the chest. The hands, of course, can still rotate. The arms can move out. The shoulder pads can move out of the way a little bit. And of course, the arms can move all around. The legs, this one I think is a lot more mobile. Though, I mean, still not that much. There's nothing moving down there or anything like that. But you can really kind of see the joints in there and kind of how they work. You can't really bend them that way or anything. You don't want to snap them. On the back, you do have the Griffin, which has a little bit of assembly. Mine has like this weird white, like, powder residue. I think maybe from the silver paint or something. Kind of strange. These feel kind of weird. Like, just the plastic quality just kind of feels weird on these. You can take this off because it was like this in the package. You had to attach it. So I think you can kind of replicate the whole Griffin, you know, finisher where it's kind of the crossbow or something. I think you can kind of get that to work. You can, if you move his hand a little bit, you could almost clip it into his hand or try something. You can kind of get it, right? Like, you get what I'm going for. You can kind of just maybe try to rest it up there. It does sort of work if you take some more time to finagle it. But it's not bad. I like that a lot. Of course, it just clips into the back. Nothing too crazy there. And of course, you can just give him his sword, which looks like I already put it in his hand, but very nicely sculpted. It doesn't need much detail. It's perfectly good as it is. And then is the Galaxy Megazord, which I would love to have posed next to, like, an, you know, one of my favorite Megazords ever, the Astro Megazord. I would love that. Kind of recreate some Power of Pink vibes there with that Megazord battle. And goodbye, Galaxy Megazord. So last up we have what is for sure my favorite of the wave. Like I said, one of my favorite Hasbro products they've ever made so far, just because of how obscure it is. Ninjakon, which there he is drawn there. Very fun. You get the Power Rangers Ninja Storm logo up there, Ninjakon Volume 1, Volume 2. And there's the non-existent boy himself. So, very, very similar. Of course, you get kind of this sort of water pattern, kind of. It looks neat. But this one does feel different from the other ones because it is that same kind of plastic quality as the Ninja was. I mean, literally, if you have the Ninja figure, you know exactly what you're getting with this. So let's go and bring that in. Alright, so let's move the camera down a tad. They're the same thing, so virtually. I mean, I guess not virtually, but like sculpt-wise. Let's move this tad down a little bit more. But yeah, not bad. I think maybe there's a slight difference. I can't tell if there's a slight difference in the molding of the hand. Probably not. I probably just have stretched that one on Ninja enough to not be like that. But you still get, as you heard there, you still get the ratcheting joint on the arms, which is a very satisfying, very satisfying, very loud ratchet joint. You do not get the gold paint down there, which I think is accurate to the original Bandai America toy. I mean, there's really like hard to be accurate to that. I mean, this was always a toy. It always has been a toy. There's no show model to base off of or anything. But it is accurate to the original toy in terms of sculpting the N on the chest to now be the Wind Ninja Academy logo and completely giving him a new head. They did do that exactly how they should. I'm going to move his sword like that so I can kind of just give him more room. But yeah, I mean, here he is on the back. You still get gold paint right there. You still have this that can come off. You can still take the sword out of there. The sword is the exact same thing as the one you got with the Ninja, so nothing too crazy or unexpected there. You can put it back there. Then, of course, you have the morphing feature. So let's go ahead and compare the two of those. So for Ninja, you had to bring his pants down, fold his shoulder pads up, take this off for a second, and then flip the head, and you can reattach that there. And there he is in kind of his Megazord mode. And, of course, a Ninjakon can do the same thing. So you bring Ninjakon's pants down, you fold up the shoulder pads, and then you get stuck like that. There we go. So you flip the head, and then you can take this and you can clip it into his back. So I mean, yes, is it skippable because it's not based off of anything and it is an exact repeat of something you might already have? Of course, but I love it. So I definitely love this thing, and I would not have been, I could not have been more satisfied with how it turned out. There it is. There's the comparison. Like a little bit different. I mean, it's just a paint difference. There's just, black there instead of red because there's already plenty of red on him, and the face has a completely different paint scheme. But it's the same mold. I mean, it's the exact same mold. Why wouldn't it be? And of course, just like with this one, you can take that off, rotate that back, fold that down, fold those back up, and then clip the sword back in, and then do the exact same thing for Ninjakon, which that sometimes gets stuck like that. Let's go ahead and just briefly take a closer look at his face. Just kind of a generic face. Nothing too crazy there. Looks good though. And now he's there. I would love to see... Oh, by the way, there's this articulation too, which was only articulation that Ninja had so he could fit into the box. But they didn't need to do that for Ninjakon, but I mean, why would they remove that articulation point? But yeah, I would love to see Ninjakon get like canonized in a video game or in a comic or something, because that would be pretty neat. And I just love that Hasbro actually went through the effort of making a Ninjakon toy just about 20 years after the first one came out. So I never owned an original Ninja, I never owned an original Ninjakon, and I feel like I've gotten out of it what I needed. These are awesome. I love them. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for my video review of the first wave of Retro Megazord figures from Walmart. So I do highly recommend these. I think this is a pretty cool line that you can kind of just pick and choose of. You know, you don't have to get all of them. You can just get your favorite Megazords. Like I said, they're not the greatest figures. They feel kind of cheap. They probably kind of look cheap in certain areas. But like, look at that Galaxy Megazord. Look how awesome this deep cut of a Ninjakon is. Our 1000th version of the Dino Megazord, Thunder Megazord, he doesn't come around that often. Like, these are really cool. I love the backdrop. The VCR, VHS retro thing is weird, but okay, fine. It doesn't detract from the toy or anything like that. Maybe they're a little too pricey. Possibly I could definitely see that in some areas here. But I like to see where this line goes. I like to see what Wave 2 has to bring. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below and who you would like to see in the second wave of these. Honestly, I could easily see them doing like a black and gold repaint of this guy or something, which I hope we get more than something just like that. But yeah, I'd love to know if you guys are going to pick these up. Has this video kind of changed your mind on them, or has it made you pass on them? And then as you see kind of what they are in person and everything here. And yeah, I will leave a link to them on both Walmart and Hasbro Pulse in the description below. However, they are currently sold out on the Walmart website, the last I checked, and Hasbro Pulse has delayed them until March 1st. But they're popping up in Walmarts all over the place. People have been finding them in Walmart a lot. I think some of them have even been put on the incorrect price tag of the cheaper retro figures, so maybe you'll be able to get them for cheaper than $16, but who knows? But yeah, I highly recommend them. I think they're really cool for display purposes, especially with these backdrops, and they're just fun. So until next time, you can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or at LightNinjaPR, and I'll see you all later.